Hey guys, welcome to today's class. Have fun.
Hello students, you're welcome to today's class. I hope you've had a good week so far. In our previous class we discussed descriptive writing and we were able to go through tips for writing descriptive essays effectively. I promised that in the next class we were going to talk about expository essays, and that is what we're doing today. I'm sure you have heard, you have studied how to write expository essays, and you know what it means. From the word expository, you can tell that it means to expose or to explain. The expository essay is also called the exploratory essay. I'm sure many of you would have thought about exploring, and you know what it entails. You're basically making research and finding information pertaining to whatever subject you have been given. So when you write an expository essay, you're basically explaining the essay. It is not the same as other essays you have written, because in this you are not trying to convince an audience, but you are trying to make a research. And by the time you get to the university, when you're required to write your project, most of you would have to rely on your expository skills to make sure that your projects are well written or well organized. Now, the expository essay simply describes what, when, how, and why of any subject. What, when, how, and why. What, when, how, and why. When you think of expository essays, think of those four questions. What, when, how, and why. When you do this, you have already created an outline, a mental outline that would help you to write. So some topics for expository essay could be topics like write about peer pressure in your community, write about the importance of medicine, write about the importance of hygiene, or expose vices such as cultism, drug trafficking, different subjects. It is a very interesting essay to write when you are well equipped to write it. So today we're going to be discussing that. I hope you have a fun time learning. Now, the essay is based on facts. There is no fiction whatsoever that should be present in your essay. Make sure that it is based on facts and facts alone. You have to think introspectively. When you think introspectively, that means you're thinking about yourself. You're thinking on your own how your writing process should be, and you are also required to write your personal thoughts, not just what is factual or what is generally known. You're required to write your personal thoughts about the subject. So we move to the next slide. So we're going straight to creating our outline for the essay. This is the structure. As usual, you have your introduction and other aspects of the essay. In your introduction, you should outline your problem. You're not discussing the problem in detail. You're just outlining it. If the topic that was given to you is about cultism, you're letting the readers know that that is the topic you want to discuss. If the topic given to you was the economy of our country, you're letting the readers know that that's what you want to say. Well, that's what you want to talk about in your essay. So you just you just state whatever the question is. And then you can tell them why it is important that that topic be discussed. Remember not to go into too much detail at this point. And then you should just give a general statement about the problems and the people involved and possible solutions which you will be discussing in the coming paragraphs. So you're giving a brief overview. It's like a prologue to your essay. You're telling them, this is what I'm here to talk about. This is my outline. And then you move on to the next part. The body paragraphs, or the body of your essay. I hope you already know that the body of your essay shouldn't be just one paragraph. You can have different paragraphs discussing different things. So your paragraph should include, or you already have paragraph 1, which is your introduction. You should have, in your paragraph 2, you should have the important information that you found regarding your subject, or as we say in the expository world, your problem. And then paragraph 3 can explore why the information is important and dependable in relation to the problem. You're basically telling us why the information you have presented concerning your subject is important and why we should believe you. And then in this part, remember to cite your sources as well, because if you just say in 2015 5,000 Nigerian youths were killed as a result of cult clashes, you could just be spreading propaganda. We don't really know if what you have said is factual. So instead of saying that, you can say according to the 2019 December Sun newspaper, something like that. Just give us a source so that we believe you. Or according to the World Health Organization, or according to the research conducted by the Federal Ministry of Works, in 2015, more than 10,000 Nigerians went unemployed. So always give us a reason to believe what you have said. And then in your paragraph 4, you can talk about your personal thoughts, what you think about the subject that has been given to you. Some people are affected different, especially by certain subjects given to them. Some people are affected deeply by the problem of death resulting from cultism because they may have lost a loved one or a friend. Some people are deeply affected by subjects relating to health. Maybe they have a parent or two suffering from ill health. Everybody has something that they relate to and that affects them. So in this part, you're required to write your personal feelings about whatever the subject is. You can tell us what you think can be done, or you can tell us how the problem of, say, cultism has affected you personally and what your hope for the future is. This is the part where you put emotions into your writing. Remember, we said that when you write, you use logic, you use emotion. So you have used logic in your preceding paragraphs, and at this point you are allowed to talk a little about yourself, and not about yourself, about how the subject personally affects you. So remember, you have your introduction, where you give us an outline of what to expect in the rest of the essay. You have paragraph 2, where you give us the important information that you want to share about your subject. And then you give us paragraph 3, where you make us believe the weight of what you're saying, where you make us accept. This is where you persuade us to basically accept what you have written. And you don't persuade us by pleading with us to accept your words. You persuade your readers by giving them facts and sources. And then in your paragraph 4, you can talk about how the problem affects you personally. And like the slide says, you're basically telling them your feelings about the subject of your essay. Do you think that if your essay is on a subject like drug addiction, should they be persecuted? So should they be persecuted, or should they be given mental health? Should they be treated for mental health problems? So that is where you tell us your personal feelings and what you think should be done. You never know, somebody may just read your essay and decide to apply what you have said. And then in the conclusion of your essay, you summarize. We've learned how to summarize. You summarize by taking the salient points from each paragraph and presenting it. And you can also explore and tell your readers what, like I said in the other paragraph, you can explain and tell your readers why you think the problem should maybe not exist, or how you think they should go forward, or you should just leave them with a general statement, your hopes for the future. And in 5 years, I expect that the problem of cultism in Nigeria should have been eradicated, or something more realistic. In 5 years, I expect that the government and the police or the paramilitary would have a better handle of the situation. So you can conclude with a statistic, you can conclude with a quote, you can conclude with a short, with an anecdote. Remember, like I said in the lesson for descriptive writing, your anecdote should not be longer than 3 sentences. I encourage you to watch speeches where people explore certain problems. There's so many of them available on YouTube and other social media. You should watch them and see how how great orators explore their topics and impact on their listeners. Now, using the outline that has been given to you, you are required to write an essay about the effect of peer pressure on youth in your society. I know that because this is an online class, you may not feel required to do this activity, but remember, you're getting ready for the exams, and they say practice makes perfect. You have to keep writing, you have to keep reading to get better. I'm going to summarize the class by going to the first slide. If you notice, my first slide is like an introduction that tells you what we're going to discuss. It tells us that the expository essay explores problems and how to solve them, and it basically describe or explore what, when, how, and why of any subject. Think of those 4. What? That could be your paragraph 1. How? Paragraph 2. Why? Paragraph 3. And then you conclude. Keep in mind that you must check what you have written for error. You must check your work, make corrections as much as you can, and write in proper grammar. That way you would stand a chance of getting a very good score in whatever essay you have written. In our next class, we're going to talk about the narrative essay. I personally love the narrative essay, so I look forward to having that class with you. Do take care of yourselves and practice at writing. There's so many topics that you could write on. There's so many expository essays in your past questions. Do not forget to go through them. Take care and goodbye.
I hope the class was interesting. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section or send us an email. We will love to help you further. See you in the next class.